Hello, everyone. Brother Al McClaney with this week's stewardship video. And this is November 30th. So the last day of November is this recording, and the next one you hear will be into December, the last month in 2024. But before we go too far, let's read the disclaimer. No advice should be seen as a recommendation or an endorsement, as I am not a licensed financial advisor and this is for educational purposes only. You want to do your own research or utilize, if you have a registered investment advisor or a certified financial planner, you want to utilize them in that area because that's what they are there for. So this video is inspired by a issue of Sound Mind Investing, which is a paid subscription that I get every year. And in December, the December issue is always your 10 most important financial moves for 2025. Now, the Sound Mind Investing newsletter is a biblically based newsletter put out by Austin Pryor's group, who I have actually met at a couple of conferences, and it highlights a biblical financial way of doing uh, finances and resources. And this particular issue comes from Joseph Slife, and I did a screenshot of just one page of it. And if you want the full newsletter, that, as I said, is a paid subscription, I can send you a PDF of it, in which those of you who are on the email, I'm going to attach it to the email. But those of you who watch the weekly videos via YouTube, if you'll just email me at a_McClaney@yahoo.com, I'll send the PDF to you. Or at the end of this video, you always know there's a screen that I have that shows my email address. Just email me. I'll be happy to send the PDF to you of this newsletter. And this particular newsletter, I took a screenshot and it says selecting your top 10. Now, I don't necessarily choose 10 of the 60 suggestions for improving your financial condition. I would say, highlight one or two of them and really do those well and consistently. But if you can do 10, by all means, do 10 of them. And what inspires me is the scripture from Proverbs, which is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 5 from the New American Standard Bible that says, "A wise person will hear and increase in learning, and a person of understanding will acquire wise counsel." And through this video, hopefully you're doing both, because you're hearing uh, counsel in the area of finances. And then if you get this newsletter, you're acquiring wise counsel, because the counsel doesn't necessarily have to be, in-person coaching. It could be reading a book or listening to a video or podcast or going out on YouTube and listening that way. And of course, this includes one-on-one or going to see a in-person coaching such as Charles Schwab does workshops in different areas, and they're often free. You don't have to be even have a Schwab account to attend. There's one in January in the Dallas Fort Worth area. But in this case, you're listening to a video, hearing. So again, Proverbs 1 verse 5 says, "A wise person will hear and increase in learning, and a person of understanding will acquire wise counsel." And in this particular screenshot, do you see one of the sections of it says, "Put first things first." And one of the suggestions is develop a financial plan and stick to it. Planning is essential to managing your finances well. While awaiting the master's return, faithful stewards heed the master's instruction and put his money to work until I come back. And that's Luke 19, verses 13. The other part on one of the suggestions I did a screenshot is redeem the time. And I've actually done a teaching on this, a couple of years ago. It says, in the time you are having remaining in the earthly life, so generously and cheerfully into the advancement of God's kingdom. 2 Corinthians 9, verses 6 through 7. Trust that the Lord is able to make all grace abound to you, so that in all things, in all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. 2 Corinthians 9, verse 8. So this is just some suggestions that that stood out for me for that article. Make sure you email me at a underscore McClaney at yahoo.com, and I can send you the whole PDF article. If you didn't get that at the end of the video, as always, I have that video, the email that you can utilize, and I'll send you the PDF. Those of you who get this video by email distribution, I've also attached not only the link that you normally get, but I'm going to attach the newsletter itself so that you will have it. And with that, let's go ahead and take a look at this week's market. Now, it was a shortened market because last week was Thanksgiving, so the market was closed on that day, and then the market closed early on Wednesday and Friday before. But this week, we've got a full week of earnings being reported, including Zscaler, which is a lot of companies use for their cyber protection. So that may be an interesting company to watch and see if the earnings are up, or even a possibility of doing some research on your own and seeing if this may be a company you want to invest in. Once again, no advice should be seen as a recommendation. Just throwing this out as training, things that could spark some ideas. Salesforce is reporting. That's a company you may look at. Chewy, the pet industry is huge, with amount of pet owners out there, including me and Janine with our Deuce, our Yorkie. That may be an area you want to look in, and also look at what they are reporting. You got Dollar Tree in the area of consumer spending. Five Below, I just utilized them based on my sister-in-law, Jennifer, recommending a place to buy earbuds. And my wife was out doing Black Friday, not doing a whole lot of in-debt spending, but it was planned and money that we had set aside so that we don't have to put it on the credit card. And if you put it on the credit card, you pay it off each month, right? So you don't have the interest. But Five Below is going to be reporting. Then we've got Dollar General and then TD Bank. So TD Ameritrade still kept their bank. TD Ameritrade actually merged into Charles Schwab, but the bank, TD Bank, still exists. Lululemon, Ulta, DocuSign, GitLab. I'm going to definitely be paying attention to GitLab because I've got some shares in there. Once again, not a recommendation to or endorsement to purchase, but you do your own research. Talked about Petco. That's another play in the area when it comes to pet owners, and then Kroger. Right. So all of these are reporting this week. I don't know if these will all in themselves move the market, but in totality, if people start to looking at what their forward earnings, and that you seem to be what impacts the market these days, not what the company's past earnings were, but what's their forward earnings guidance? What does the company see in the future? And I forgot, here's Hewlett Packard. So that's technology. So good, diverse sense of companies reporting with a leaning toward consumer spending. And all the I didn't do anything on Black Friday as far as in this video, but I'll probably talk about that next week and in the first of the December videos. But one of the things early on, CNN, CNBC were all reporting huge records set for Black Friday as far as in-person and cyber spending. And that's usually indicative of, are we having a healthy economy? So the last couple of weeks I've been highlighting, Elon Musk has been starting to take a prominent role in what, government and Donald Trump is listening to his advice. And one of the things he quoted on X, or the old Twitter, was the ancient government runs on ancient computers and software, needs an upgrade, exclamation point. So this is from CNBC was reporting this particular quote from him, and they put below it software stock outlook. So if Elon Musk, with him and Ramaswamy doing this efficiency agency or sideline, it's not, I don't know if it's an official agency, if they can do that, but they're going to play a prominent role when it comes to government efficiency. So if one of the things he's looking at to get more efficient in the government is that upgrades in software and computers, that could be a play, right? That could be something you're looking at investing in. And so CNBC took a little bit further, and they put an exchange traded fund, IGV, and SOX, SOXX. Both of these are exchange traded funds that are in the sectors of software and semiconductors. And they also showed a chart of how they've been rising. So IGV may be one that you're interested in. Do your research. And SOX, SOXX. If not, look for some companies that are within there that you may consider investing in. Again, not a recommendation, but something to highlight, some research, some, and this is training, educational purposes only. The other thing is the slide I put up a couple of weeks ago, which talked about six best Elon investments to buy. Tesla is, I mean, company that he owns, and he's the CEO on. That's the obvious one. And then take a look at this article that was in U.S. News, and that's what you'll Google search on. You can do U.S. News, six best Elon Musk investments to buy, and then it'll give you the logic and reasoning behind these that are being recommended: Tesla, PayPal, Nvidia, Modine Manufacturing, Meta, and Bitcoin. Take a look at those. If it makes sense, maybe you want to invest in those or look in similar type companies. Finally, we'll end, as we always do, taking a look at the overall market. Here's RWM, which is the Russell 2000. This is the smaller capitalized companies. And I put this reminder here: Santa Claus rally is the tendency of the stock market to increase during the Christmas season. So I don't know if we're in the Santa Claus rally right now. It usually ends, right around before the end of the beginning of the next year. And it could begin as early as now. But you can see we had some selling off, but now we're clearly back into the buying mode where investors are getting back into the market. So that's the Russell 2000 smaller cap. Here's QQQ, which is focus and exchange trade funding focused on technology driven QQQ. You can see it's back uh, in buying mode again with investors. And then finally, SPY. That's a much prettier chart as far as the bull market, which will still clearly end. And again, I don't know if this is part of the Santa Claus rally, but we're clearly in an uptrend in these last couple of weeks. And if not, reverted back to an uptrend. And who knows if it'll keep going? Only the Lord knows. As I said earlier, here's my email address, and two things you can do with that. You can make sure you're on a distribution list if you heard this and was forwarded by someone else this video, or you can also make sure I can email you that full newsletter from Salmon Investing of the December edition that talks about, it'll give you 60 suggestions of things that you can do to improve your financial health. So with that, that's this week's stewardship. That's this week's stewardship video. As we always say, remember Jesus is Lord, therefore He's the owner, but we're His faithful steward, following the principles that we talk about in this video uh, with His finances. So until next week, we'll talk to you then.